Hello everyone, good afternoon, and we're at the 2.5 week point now with the long-term Honda Civic there, hashtag MME long-term, or hashtag MME Civic, and I thought I'd give you a little bit of a walk around, show you around the car a little bit, see how we've been getting on with it. Any questions you might have, feel free to ask them, and I'll try to answer them if I can. So there's the car, that's what it is. It's a 1.6, I'm a little bit confused whether it's because I was told it's an LX, but looking at the specs, I think it's a DX, it's a 1.6 DX. It's a 4-cylinder, 123 horsepower. It's not a huge amount of horsepower. CVT gearbox. They do come with a 2-liter and there's a 1.5 turbo RS. That's the most powerful version. But I got the 1.6 liter. That's the one behind me. I'm going to flip you around. So a little bit of a closer look around it. So I like the color on this car. I was so grateful that they didn't give me a white car, because a white Civic would just be quite like, oh, it's a white Civic. So this is quite a nice car, quite deep red there. Nice set of alloy wheels. So on this spec, those are standard. This is the so there's 2 trim levels in the 1.6 engine level, and I think this is the upper trim level. And for that, you get the alloy wheels, you get reverse parking sensors, you get cruise control, stuff like that. So I got it washed yesterday, but as I can see now, whoever washed it didn't do a great job. But hey ho, what to do? So let's have a look at the practicalities of it first, shall we, a little bit? So let's go right to the boot. What do you think of the rear styling, by the way? That rear styling, I'm still sort of getting used to. Hello to Himanshu Kumar, nice to see you joining us. So we're looking at the Honda Civic long-termer. It's a 1.6. It's either the LX or the DX Plus. I'm not quite sure. Looking at the specs, it says DX Plus on there. 65,900 dirhams this one. 65,900 dirhams. So that's what you pay for this car. So just show you the boot, and it is a boot. It's not a hatchback, because you look at the back of the car, and you might think that, well, that's quite a sloping rear on it, sort of sportbacky, and you think maybe that's a hatchback, but it's not. Hello to Suchita, how you doing? So it's not a sportback. It does have a boot, and there is the boot, like that. See, there you can see it. And so the boot has a very, very short deck. I mean, hardly a deck at all, let's be honest. I mean, here, it looks like it's got a deck. It comes out to there. But when you open it, really, it's just basically, it's got this opening like that, so it doesn't have that. But, you know, it's good enough. It means you can't sort of plop stuff into it. It means you sort of slide stuff into it. So it just says it's an LX. Yeah, okay, it's an LX. Honda Middle East says it's an LX, so it must be an LX. So you slide stuff into it rather than plop stuff into it, because it sort of opens that way. So fortunately, it's got quite a low opening on it, so that's quite handy. And a reasonable size as well. I mean, I think that's good enough for like 2 large suitcases, no problem at all. And these are quite handy. So what you've got here is these little handles, and if you pull them, nothing happens. Okay, nothing happens. I thought they were going to drop the. Okay, that's interesting. Because I was pretty sure that was going to drop the. Yeah. Oh, so it loose. Oh, okay. So it didn't drop them. It unlocked them, didn't drop them. Anyway, we'll come back to the boot in a minute. Yeah, that was unlocked as well. So that's what happened. So that's kind of handy. There's all the toolkit, a little tray over there. Why is it flipped around again? You're looking at me. Oh man. Let me fix this. Hold on. There we go. So there's a little handle there, and you can lift up the floor. And underneath you've got a little tray over there. And you've got the toolkit. That's a very well laid out toolkit. I've got to say, there's another tray over there as well. That's a beautifully laid out. I mean, as toolkits go, that's very well presented. You know, I mean, that is like, ta-da, look at this. We really love our tools. We've taken a lot of time and care over these tools, and we present them to you in this way. Hello to Nambadar Tamur Qureshi, who loves the car. Yeah, so you might do. Yeah, it's a great car. And we do get a full-size spare wheel there, so that's quite handy. So that's your boot. Enough of the boot. Again, tell me what you think of the rear lights, the rear tail lights. You know, they're sort of this boomerang shaped thing going on here. Quite interesting. It's a bit of a departure, and there's lines up there, lines along there, and then lines along the bottom bit, which is not really a grill, but it sort of looks like a little grill at the back there. So let's see what the rear cabin space is like. There you go. So this one gets the cloth trim. I guess leather would be an option. And certainly on higher spec trim cars you probably get leather, but this one gets cloth trim, which is very nice, light and bright in this car. And I do like this little stripe thing that goes on, and I'll show you that on the front seat. It's quite distinctive actually. So let's get in and have a little sit. What's that? Who's left that in there? Magazines, Style and the Man. Okay, well that's the sort of magazines that Civic owners read, I guess. So there you have pretty plain controls. Got a door handle. You got the grab handle. Got a little hook there. That's for your jackets and things. There's one on each side. But you've also got the little hanger hook there as well on there. And over here you do have AC vents. You see, so that's quite good. This spec of car and this type of car, that you do get individual rear AC vents. So that's quite handy. What you don't get is rear USBs though. There's no USBs here. You get 2 cup holders and of course a little armrest. And I'll just show you how I fit in the car, because you may be wondering. At 6'2", it's not too bad at all. The front seat of course is set for me. I've been driving the car around obviously. 2.5 weeks. We're just over the halfway point in the long-term running of this car. And we're just doing a live update of how we're getting on with the car and the car itself, and just showing you around it. So 1.6 LX, apparently, LX spec Honda Civic, 65,900 dirhams at your Honda dealer here in the UAE. And so we're just looking at the rear seating, and as you can see, yeah, I mean headroom is just about enough, But you can see that right at the top of you, if I put you right up there, you can see the top of my head, or top of my hair, what little hair I have left, is is brushing the roof lining, just about, but not uncomfortable. And again, same here. The knees are fine; they're clear of the front seat. The bottom part of my legs, the shins, are touching the rear seat, but not uncomfortably so. And you know, you could always do that, and you'd be fine. And there is plenty of room down there for your feet as well. Quite a bit of wiggle room actually, so it's not too bad at all. And there is a little bit of space. The bolsters aren't too bad either. So not too bad at all. Surprisingly spacious and comfortable back here for people that want to travel in the back of a Honda Civic. I mean, you know, I think it's about par for the class, I would say. It's about par for the class is what I would say. So not too bad at all. Yeah, that's pretty much it for the rear. Let's have another look around the car. So those of you joining us, I see a few people have joined us, and we are at the halfway point of our long-term running of the Honda Civic 1.6. Hashtag MME long-termer, hashtag MME Civic. This is the 1.6. I haven't actually looked at the engine, so just because you guys are here, let's have a look. Let's see if there's anything worth looking at. 123 horsepower, this one. There you go. Quite a compact little unit there. It's 4-cylinder unit, 1.6 obviously, as I've said. 123 horsepower, which is just about enough. Nicely arranged in here, so if you're owning this car, if you're running the car, you can immediately see where to put your windscreen washer fluid, for example, which sometimes is, you know, not always clear in cars. So, you know, there you go, you know exactly, you can open that up. It's to the side, so when you go up to a petrol station and you want to park and just fill it with water, then you know exactly where to stop and how to get access to the windscreen washer, which is there. That's the washer fluid there. This is for the coolant, so that actually goes into the radiator. So that's your top up, and as you can see from the side, there's a little bit in there, so that's at the right level, so that's well sorted. It's your dipstick. I'm guessing that's the brake fluid over there. I'm guessing, actually, to be fair. I'm pretty sure that's the brake fluid. Batteries up the front, so that's quite easy to get access to as well. And the terminals are very clear and easily identified. So again, for charging, or if you want to jump start a mate's car or something like that, that's all pretty clear and straightforward. Lot of room at the front here, so you can see that they've made a lot of room. The engine is quite far back. It's just, I would say, it's just over the front axle, just slightly ahead, just fractionally ahead of the axle line. So that's good for it's good for balance at the front. It's very good for handling balance at the front because it keeps the weight over the front wheels, which is good. Also, it's good for crash safety because it's provided a lot of space at the front here for a deformable crash structure. And there, of course, there's the fuse box. So let's slam that down. There you go. Wow, that was a slam. And let's get into the front of the car. I've got my bags there, so just ignore that. And get in. Here we go. And there you got the door. You got your little button there. That's for the boot release over there. And down there, of course, is for the front release down there. Over here, you've got traction control off button. I don't know why you would bother. And a tire pressure thing. Hang on. So let's start it up. It's got a starter button. This one. So it's keyless entry and keyless start up, and actually remote start as well. Turn the stereo down. Stereo sound is actually really good. I've been making the most of these speakers, and I think they're pretty good actually. I've been quite enjoying them. So that button is not telling you anything. It doesn't do anything. It doesn't do anything on the dashboard. So what does it do? Okay, I thought that was going to give you a little display thing, but it's not doing that. That's your traction off button. Yeah, and that comes on there. So that does come on if you turn that off. But I mean, again, there literally is no point of having that traction system. Your power mirrors and your lock, unlock, unlock the rear windows for those pesky kids when they want to mess around. Hello to Adil. How you doing, Adil? And Adil Wahid. And your window switches. Door pockets there, not bad. You can put a small bottle in there, not a problem at all. And this is your steering wheel. So you've got remotes on the steering wheel for cruise control. There's a cruise control there, so that's your on button. So actually, if you see on the dashboard, you'll see that come on. And it's very easy to do. You just turn it, you basically hit that. Once you're on the motorway, you just set, and you're cruising. If you hit the brakes, you slow down, whatever, you want to resume the speed, you just hit resume and you're back again. So it's a very easy system to use. This is basically to control the stereo, and as you can see, it's changed. So if I do that, it goes to 103.8, which tonight, actually, watch out, tonight we will be on the radio at 9 o'clock on Dubai Eye 103.8 with James Pikeway talking about cars. So that's your source, that's your volume button. Travel the world and the 7 seas in my Honda Civic, and there's your phone. Sorry for the singing. Sorry, won't do that again. I promise, I won't do that again. Your indicator stalks are there, and your lights. Now, we don't get auto lights. It's a bit weird. We don't get auto lights, but what I found, because a couple of times I forgot to turn the light off at night, but it does turn them off. So it doesn't like you don't come back to a dead battery because you left the lights on. The lights do actually turn off. So that's quite handy. But not auto lights, which is surprising. In this day and age, I mean, the car's got keyless entry and keyless start. You should give auto lights. Come on, guys. We should have auto lights. There's your wiper controls over there. And in order to control the central bit over there, the central instrument panel, sort of trip computer thingy, is this lever here. Now you're looking at the fuel economy. Don't go by that because I've literally just filled that up and I've just reset that. I filled it up yesterday, and I reset that. So that's not really indicative. What I can tell you is if I do that, that's how much I've done in the car so far. So I've done over 1,000 kilometers in the car. And that's the range at the moment. So it's got with a nearly full tank, as you can see. If you can make that out, that's showing a full tank. It's the white bar there. So on a full tank, it's giving me a range of 584 kilometers. Adil Wahid says, does this one have the camera on the right side view? No, it doesn't. I know what you mean. That sometimes they have a camera there so that when you indicate right on the indicator, it'll come up on here. But this is not the full infotainment screen, so it doesn't have that. I don't know if the Civic has that. I know the Accord has that. I don't know, the high-spec Civic probably has that, the 2-liter high-spec one, but not this one. I hope that answers your question. So just to continue, if I click that again, you get the actual, that's what I've actually got over 1,000. Actually, to be honest, yesterday, I think I've been putting my foot down a little bit over the last day or so, because yesterday, the day when I filled it up, that was actually showing 6.7. 6.7 liters per 100 kilometers, which is quite extraordinary. And in my previous tank full, so just before I filled up now, I got about 575 kilometers, and the fuel economy was 6.5. And that's only 2 more than a Toyota Prius, which is officially rated at 4.5, although I did dip below 4 when I ran that long term. And of course, the Prius pollutes a lot less, so in that sense, it's quite good. But even so, 6.8, well under 7 liters per 100 on a Honda Civic. Daily driving use over 1,000 kilometers is not bad. And like I said, I got 6.5 on my previous tank full. Over here you have this kind of sort of, it looks like a floating thing, but it's not. It just sort of protrudes a little bit from the dashboard. I think it's a 5-inch screen, so it's not the full infotainment system. So you get the radio, you get your media if it was connected and stuff like that. I do normally Bluetooth it up. There's your menu buttons over there, and you know, all that sort of stuff. Climate control, recirculate. It's pretty good. The AC is fantastic. No reason to complain. Like I said, the stereo also is very good. This is all very quite simple and easy to use. So compared to like the higher spec one with the very complicated infotainment system, if you're not liking that, this one's good because it's very, very basic. It's very straightforward. A couple of things I found when I hooked up my phone, when I was using the sort of iPod function, because you also got the Bluetooth function and you got the iPod function. When I was using the iPod function, the funny thing is when I connect it with the iPod, it doesn't give me shuffle play, but when I do it with Bluetooth, it gives me shuffle play. I don't know why that's different. Somehow it just is. It's very strange. Nice bit of trim here. It's a little bit different, a bit textured. That's quite good. Just a little bit fancy. A leather look there. It's not. It's hard, and the stitching is obviously fake, but it's hard. But it just sort of gives you that. Again, it's quite hard. It's not soft touch here. It's quite a hard one. So it's plastics, but it's nice looking plastics. Decent sized glove box. I put the old ashtray thing in there because I didn't need that. Massive book there. Don't know what that's for. And over here, I quite like this arrangement. I was going to show you the seat thing, wasn't I? How the way the stripe comes down. This is all cloth, by the way. This is cloth too. But I do like that. It gives it a bit of personality. It gives it a sort of sporty look there. And again, the trim there is continued on the door, which is quite nice. Gives it a little bit of air of class and luxury. This thing here moves, so you can have your armrest here, or you can move it back. Once you move it up here, you can then open it. There you go. No, actually, you have to move it back to open it, because then there's the lever. The lever, you can't see the lever. Okay, so you have to move it back, and then you see the lever, and then you open it, and there you go. And you got some room down there. And there's no USBs in here. There's a tray in there. Don't know what that is. Somebody's left a bit of tubing. A bit of tubing. That's strange. That's utterly pointless. There's no reason for that at all. I don't know why that's there, because that's a cup holder, so I don't know what that's for. I don't know if that's even supposed to go in there. Does that move out? I don't know. I'm trying to break it now, but no. Yeah, it does. There you go. So actually, you got this is like what do you call it? Russian dolls. So you got big bottle-sized cup holder. You got cup-sized cup holder, and then you got little glass type, little bottle cup holder. It's a bit weird, that, isn't it? A lot of arrangements there. So anyway, so there's a lot you can do with it, that's for sure. It's giving plenty of flexibility. The eco button, which I haven't been using. So those people that think that I got my 6.5 liters per 100 kilometers by using the eco button, I haven't. I haven't used the eco button. I've just driving it as I would drive it, although I'm a fairly thrifty driver when I want to be. Electronic parking brake and also hill start assist, so it helps you on the hill start situations. The car won't roll back. It has that, and of course it has a brake hold, which is actually part of the hill start assist system. CVT automatic, but actually quite a good one. We'll drive a little bit, and this is interesting. So I've got my cable in here. So you see that I got my cable in here, but no USB, because USB there's another tray down here. Believe it or not, there's a bit more space down here. There's another tray down here to put stuff, and your over there you've got your power supply on that side, and you've got your USB. You can't make it out; it's a bit dark. But your USB is over here. One USB. Really, this car could do with more USBs. But anyway, one USB is there. Now the interesting thing is, if you don't want to keep your phone down there, which you could do, because you could plug it in and leave your phone down there, but you know, us pathetic people, we like to keep our phone where we can see it, which would be on this tray. So they've thought of that. So what they've done is they've provided, I don't know if you can see, but there's a little hole there, which you can feed the cable down there. And the really clever bit, I don't know if you can make it out, the really clever bit is how they've provided this little holder thing there. So you can actually put the cable there and it just holds it in place. Now that's a little touch that's really neat. That's a signature Honda clever touch, that one. That's the sort of thing that with Hondas you used to go, ooh, nobody's ever thought of that, but they have. So that's pretty much it. Up here you've got obviously your lights and stuff like that. So I think the next thing to do, let's take it for a little bit of a cruise around. This is not a test drive review or anything like that, but since you're here, since I'm here, since the car is here, since we're outside, we might as well go for a little drive, right? So if you're just joining us, we're just having a little update, a sort of halfway point update on the Honda Civic, the MME long-termer, hashtag MME long-termer, hashtag MME Civic. We've come to about 2.5 weeks now. I've had this car, and first week really wasn't able to do much because we were busy with the motor show and stuff like that. So I thought I'll give you a little walk around, and that's what we were doing. We were looking at the car. I've been looking at the boot, under the bonnet, rear passenger compartment, front passenger compartment. So if you missed all of that, this is live video, you can go back and watch it again later on. So I thought we'll take it for a little drive. So let's put it into drive. We've got an S mode, sports mode, and a low mode as well here. So I've not tried either of those, to be honest. And there's a sports mode, and to be frank, I haven't tried it. Hello to Alshan. Hey, you're behind Sahara. Yay, yes I am. Yeah, Sahara Center's just over there, in fact. And yeah, I live near here. So there you go. I live in Al Nada 1. So there you go. So I haven't used the sports mode because, quite frankly, it's not that sort of car. It's 123 horsepower. Having said that, I'm not saying it's a slouch or anything, because I've never really found it. It moves off absolutely fine. I've never really found it wanting in terms of performance or anything like that. But then I haven't been driving it hard. I'm not. Can you come to pick me up? Not right now, mate. No. Sorry. I ain't running a damn taxi service, Anyway, it's illegal. So, performance. Engine has an okay sound, not too bad at all, as you can hear. So hang on, I'll try and out of this roundabout if I get a bit of room, if I can. The CRV there, nope, I can't. Maybe after this zebra crossing, we can give it a bit of full throttle for you. There you go, that's full throttle. Engine sounds alright. That's the only time really that you can tell that this is a CVT, because that's when it does that droney thing. Most of the time, it simulates an automatic quite accurately, and it has step changes and stuff like that. So really, actually in normal use, you tend to forget that it's a CVT, but of course CVT is helping your fuel economy in this car. But it's only when you accelerate hard or you do something like that, or you try and overtake, that you go, oh yeah, it's a CVT, So, and that's slightly, really, to be honest, I feel this would be a fantastic car with a manual gearbox. I really think so. I don't think we get it here with a manual gearbox, which is a shame, but I can imagine it'd be really good. The ride is fantastic on this car. Considering the class of car, the cost of car, and what it is, it has a very smooth and a very mature ride, I would say. Actually, it's a sort of a more of an upmarket car sort of ride. Very refined, very smooth. You can see the ambience is actually very serene, very quiet. It is, like I said, very refined. It's like Civics of old, where you'd be in a medium, say a lower medium compact car. But look at this. I'm just be quiet for a minute. The faintest hint of wind noise, barely some road noise, very quiet, and a very nice ride as well, very, very smart. And then interestingly, considering that the ride is very good, you would go, okay, well maybe the handling has been compromised, but it hasn't actually. The handling is actually very, very good on this car. I haven't had much opportunity around town to, hello to Akash Ahmed. Hey, hello, how you doing? I haven't had much opportunity to check it around town, but when I first got it, in the first week I had it, I did take it for a photo shoot and took it up to the roads around Hatta and threw it around there. And I found that the handling was actually quite good. The grip was very good. It was quite agile, quite manageable, and quite adjustable. The steering was very accurate and nicely weighted. The steering setup is actually very good on this car, even though I believe it is electronic power steering, which a lot of manufacturers aren't quite getting right. It's a difficult one to get right. But this one seems to be quite good. But again, it's not a sporty car. Nice to see you, Ahmed, Akash, nice to see you too. And it's not a sporty car, right? So don't start driving it like a sporty car. Yes, it does handle. Yes, it is agile. And yes, the performance is perfectly adequate. 123 brake horsepower. Don't expect too much from it. But 123 brake horsepower isn't nothing to be laughed at. So it drives all right, handles all right, and it does all of that stuff very well. If you want something bitier, if you want something sportier, if you want something a little bit more energetic, if you want something a little bit more thrilling to hurl into a corner, this is not for you. Not in this guise anyway. I haven't driven the sportier version, but in this guise, it's more about comfort, refinement, practicality, usability, and economy, with a bit of dynamic ability thrown in. That's essentially what you've got here. So, like I said, it's not a car that you'll be panting to drive every morning, but it's a car that you'll be pleased to return to at the end of the day and just cruise on home. That's the sort of car that we're talking about. And for 65,900 dirhams, that's not really bad. That's nothing really to complain about there. So there you go, guys. Driving along, and like I said, I thought I'd give you a live update and walk around of our long-term Honda Civic. Hashtag MME long-termer. Hashtag MME Civic. Do please follow us on all of the media channels, and if you put in those, you can probably find more posts related to this car. And if you have any questions or anything like that, do post them here or anywhere else, and I'll try and get answers to you if I don't already have them. Great to talk to you guys, and keep following us, and more updates coming soon. Thanks very much. Bye.